With me today is Daren Jones from Owen Sound Audiology. How are you doing, Daren?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
Excellent. Now, thank you so much for joining me today. You know, it's something that I don't hear a lot of people talking about, but they probably should, and that would be their hearing. So we've got Owen Sound Audiology on air, on radio. Of course, we love those that can hear because
Correct.
it's very important for our medium. Tell us about what's going on with Owen Sound Audiology and why you're on radio.
Well, of course, Don, everybody's asking why is a hearing aid company advertising on the radio? The people that have hearing loss are not necessarily listening to radio, but what we've learned over the years, being in the industry for 21 years, is that it's the hardest part of getting somebody with hearing loss in to get the test initially is convincing them to come in. So what we decided to do is listen, the whole messaging here is to tell the people that we know what you're going through. We know living with that person with a hearing loss. We know that they don't want to come in to get a hearing test because nobody wants to be told that, hey, you have a hearing loss, you need to have some hearing aids. But for every one person has a hearing loss, there's at least 4 to 5 people around them, close to them, that are dealing with that person. So what happens is that we tend to get the stories we do that, we're starting to do more and more grassroots events. It means we're going to more and more trade shows and stuff like that. And we hear people walking up, well, my mom has a hearing loss, but she doesn't want to come in. So my first question to them is, so does your mom participate in a lot of other events, like maybe a Sunday dinner, maybe going to a restaurant, maybe, you have a few people over and she's participating, and they tend to tell you that she doesn't do it as much as she used to. And when they tell me that story, the first thing I tell them is that it's because now she's not really understanding. So when you have hearing loss, your brain tends to forget what they don't hear properly and just works on what they do hear properly. So you start to lose those vowels and those consonants and stuff like that. So you start to lose the understanding of the sound. So you don't always understand what's going on. So what happens, they become a little bit more reclusive. They sit at home, spend more time alone, watching TV, maybe reading a book, but they don't participate like they used to. And the messaging here is that if you have something like that in your life, the best thing you can do with them is listen, come on down, see us at Owen Sound Audiology, and let our team walk them through what they're going through and make them understand that there is a help out there for them. And the hearing aids are fitted to your lifestyle. So if you come in and tell me, hey, listen, I just watched my soap operas in the afternoon, or I just watched the news, perfect. We have a product for that. If you come and say, I have an active lifestyle, I want to go out, I have meetings, I talk on the phone, we have something for that. If you tell me I go to a restaurant, I go to Tim Hortons or wherever every day with my friends, we have something for that. It's not about the hearing aid itself will fit the lifestyle. So that's the messaging there.
And I have a father-in-law too, that went through the same thing, and he now has hearing aids. And it really, I look at it and I think, you know what? I don't know how much the hearing affected him as much as, like you mentioned, affected those around him, because you're constantly repeating. You
Yes.
don't know if they're even responding correctly to what you've asked, or because you don't know if all of it was taken in. And I will tell you, once hearing aids were added to his lifestyle, it's so much enjoyable for those around us to be with him. But the other thing too that's really neat is after he got his, realizing how bad his hearing was and how much his life has improved after getting hearing aids.
We tend to, when I used to go around, years ago, I used to be a manufacturer's rep. So I worked at the manufacturer level. Now I'm an office owner. So when I used to go around the manufacturer, I used to go into all different offices across Canada and help the team, sell my products, sell my wares. And I would come up and say, people will come up to me and say, I don't need a hearing aid. And I would look at the spouse and I say, so when you speak with them, they're guessing and they're guessing right. So everything is good. But when they start guessing and their guess is wrong, like they'll say, why would you say bat? It has nothing to do with it. I said cat. Like when you start to get to that stage, they're not far away from the next stage of, okay, we're not coming, because the first couple times you laugh at them. That's not what I said. What's wrong with you? But it's a little bit of, they take a little homage to that. Goes, oh my God, they're laughing at me now. And that's when you start to see the decline, after those things start to happen. When they start to guess and they're not guessing correctly, then they start to take a step back. Like your father-in-law. I bet you, if you go back into your memory bank and say, Yeah, there's a couple times we laughed because she said something totally different than what we were talking about, and you would start laughing at him. And then if you remember the look on his face when you laughed and repeated what you said, and then take inventory of, let's say, a few months or maybe a year later where they're maybe not as close to that conversation as they once were. Maybe they didn't get close to the table, and you maybe had to go to another room to talk to them in a quieter environment where not everybody was around. And, we deal with that every day. And the hardest part is for people like yourself to go to your father-in-law and say, you know what? It doesn't hurt to take a hearing test. So what if you have a hearing loss? But let's go and see what's going on. That's the bottom line. That's the message here, right? We can help you take that barrier away by saying, listen, we don't charge for the hearing test. It's complimentary. We explain it to you. We always encourage a loved one to come along with them so they can understand what's going on. And once they get an understanding and they walk away, they don't always take it that day. We're not the ones that chase them out the door. No, if you don't want to take it, that's fine. But we know we gave them enough great information, planted that seed to say, listen, we can help you. Now, if you don't want to hear your family, that's your choice. We can't help you there. Yeah. But if you want to hear them again, we can do that. So, that's how we approach it. We approach it as an educational tool, not just coming in and say, you need them, here's what you got, here's how much they are, we'll talk to you later. It's an educational tool. And that's what's very important out there. And the hearing care professionals out there do a great job of doing that. We're there to educate. We're there to help you. We're there, your coach, because once you are fitted with a hearing aid, let's look at your father-in-law's case, they are customers for life. They will wear that product for the rest of their lives. So it's not just a one and done. You now become, you get to know them, you get to know the family, you get to know what their history is. And they come in once a year for a hearing test. If there's a readjustment to be done, we can readjust their hearing aids. Like it's a whole relationship you develop. So it's not just a one and done thing. So that's what we're trying to take away with the radio ads, is going after the people that are living with the people that have the hearing loss. Say, come on in, we can help you. It's all good.
Well, and the test is absolutely painless too, right? Like you're listening to tones and responding to different sounds, and you do your best, and then really you're able to help them. The thing that I do want to touch on too is that they've come so far, right? Hearing aids aren't what you're thinking they were 30 years ago, not to mention the size of them. And I can just speak for my father-in-law, his connects to Bluetooth, all kinds of other things as well. He can connect his TV to them. He's got his phone connected. So, his hands-free is always hands-free, and it's actually connected right to his hearing aids.
Listen, when I started 20 plus years ago, the hearing aids were, we called them linear at the time, which means it was just an amplification device, just pushing sound down the canal, increasing the sound in all frequencies. And you had some play in some of the frequencies. And as it evolved, now we can actually fine-tune that hearing aid to actually reduce sounds in a frequency that you hear perfectly well in, and not amplify them, and only amplify the ones you need to have amplification in. I also lived through the generation where they discovered how to cancel noise out and just increase speech. And when that hit the market, my gosh, that was revolutionary. And then we progressed on. Then we finally got a chip that doesn't that is compatible with Bluetooth, that doesn't consume battery rate as much as it used to. So now everything is connected. You're right. And sometimes, I have hearing aids in my bag only because I'm in the industry. Sometimes I'm at a restaurant. Even myself, I'll take them out. I have them programmed. I have no hearing loss, but I have them programmed, and I will sit down at the restaurant and put these hearing aids in just to kill the background noise around me, just so I can hear the conversation around me. And it's not because we know somebody with hearing loss, it's fatiguing when they have to constantly concentrate all the time. So yeah. And if I'm at an airport and I don't have my Bluetooth, the hearing aids have Bluetooth, I'll sit there talking through my hearing aids. But I don't have a hearing loss, but I'm in the industry. So that's a bit of a little bit of a inside secret there, right? So
something that's really neat too is my father-in-law, when he I hope he's all right with me talking about him, but I remember him talking about hearing birds again, like he didn't remember. And even things like the crunch of snow under your feet, like there's just little things that, the whole world opens up that you didn't realize that you were missing. But then when you hear it again, you realize how fantastic our world really is. And why not enhance your hearing if you can? Like if it's there and you're losing it, there's a fix. So definitely the need to come and see you at Owen Sound Audiology. Now, Daren, how do people get involved and connected here?
Well, you can call us. give us a call at 519-376-0887, or they can visit us on our website at hearrightcanada.ca, or just walk on in. Like we're not opposed to you just walking in. There's nothing wrong. Like God, we do take appointments, but there's sometimes you can just walk in and we can set an appointment right there. We're not the doors are open. So
Owen Sound Audiology in Owen Sound. Again, that number is 519-376-0887. Also, go to the website. It's an easy one to remember. Hearing Right.
No, Hear Right. Hearrightcanada.ca.
Oh, hearrightcanada.ca. Again, it's an easy one to remember. I just can't read it correctly. So I obviously need corrective lenses here. Hearrightcanada.ca. All kinds of different hearing losses. Even I'm sure that if someone's suffering from tinnitus, they can come and see you too. Anything that has to do with sound in your ear. Daren, thank you so much for chatting with me today. And I really do hope that those that are living with those that really need hearing aids hear this, see this, and follow up with you at hearrightcanada.ca.
Thank you very much, Don. I appreciate it.